Hey, if you're a product manager, you know the feeling. You walk in every single day and face the same question. What on earth are we supposed to build next? Well, today we're going to unpack a super powerful framework that's designed to give you a real answer.
Think about it. Your backlog is just overflowing. The sales team is demanding one feature, engineering has this brilliant new idea, and, oh yeah, the CEO just dropped by with a small suggestion. It's pure chaos, right? So how do you actually cut through all that noise and make decisions based on real strategy, not just whoever shouts the loudest?
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll dive into that prioritization problem we all know and love. Then, I'll introduce you to the RICE score, our solution to the chaos. We'll break down exactly what RICE stands for, learn how to calculate it, see why it's such a game changer, and finally, talk about how it fits into your bigger PM toolkit.
Okay, let's get right to the heart of it. The biggest challenge for any product team is that you've got this endless list of amazing ideas, but you have a very, very finite amount of your team's precious time and energy. And choosing the wrong thing, it doesn't just waste time. It can literally derail your entire product strategy.
And this is the trap, isn't it? This is what so many of us fall into. We end up building things for a tiny but very vocal group of users, or we just follow a gut feeling that isn't really backed by any data. This lets all kinds of bias creep in and causes us to completely miss the ideas that would have a huge impact on the majority of our user base.
So how do we escape this trap? We need a system, and that's where the RICE framework comes in. It's basically a scoring model that's designed to help you evaluate all your big ideas with way more consistency and objectivity. It's a tool that puts real data right at the center of your decision-making. At its core, RICE is just an acronym for 4 words: reach, impact, confidence, and effort. By putting a number to each of these 4 factors for every potential project, you can generate a single, simple score that lets you see how all your initiatives stack up against each other. No more guesswork.
All right, now for the fun part. Let's really get into the nitty-gritty of what makes this framework so effective. We're going to break down each of those 4 letters, R, I, C, and E, so you know exactly what they mean and, more importantly, how to measure them.
First up, R is for reach. This is all about scale. It forces you to ask the critical question: how many actual people is this going to touch? Is this feature for 10 users, or is it for 10,000 users per month? This one question immediately helps you avoid building those super niche features and puts the focus right back on your customers.
Next, we've got I for impact. This is all about the outcome. How much is this feature really going to move the needle on our most important goals? For instance, if your goal is to increase conversions, will this feature have a massive impact, a medium one, or kind of just a small one? You can use a simple scale for this, like 3 for massive, 2 for high, 1 for medium. This keeps everyone focused on what actually matters to the business.
Now C is for confidence, and honestly, this is your secret weapon. It's the reality check. How sure are you about your numbers for reach and impact? Come on, be honest. If you have solid data from user research, maybe your confidence is at 100%. But if it's more of a hunch, a gut feeling, maybe it's only 50%. This is so important because it helps cool down all that baseless enthusiasm with a healthy dose of realism.
And finally, E is for effort. This is the cost. How much total work is this going to take from everyone? And it is so crucial to remember, this is not just coding time. This is the full investment. Product discovery, design sprints, engineering, testing, the whole shebang. A really common way to measure this is in person months.
So, we have our 4 components: reach, impact, confidence, and effort. How in the world do we combine them into one single objective score? Well, it's time to look at the elegant little formula that brings it all together.
And here it is. Simple, right? You multiply reach, impact, and confidence together, and then you divide that whole thing by the effort. What this does so beautifully is it balances the potential upside of a feature against the cost, the resources required to actually build it. It means those huge, high-effort projects are going to need a massive potential return to justify their score.
Let's look at a real-world example. Okay, on paper, that advanced search filter looks pretty good, right? It has a higher impact score of 3. But look closer. It reaches way fewer users, and we're only about 50% confident in our estimates. Now look at the new onboarding flow. It has a slightly lower impact, sure, but it reaches a huge number of users, and we're pretty confident about it. When you run the numbers, it's not even close. The onboarding flow is the clear winner with a RICE score of 800.
So you might be thinking, why go through this whole process? What is the real advantage of using a framework like RICE instead of just, arguing it out in a meeting? This right here shows the fundamental shift in thinking. You move from this world of subjective opinions and people defending their pet projects to a world that's data-informed and objective. Suddenly, you're not defending your idea anymore, you're defending the user and the business goal. The entire conversation changes from, "I think we should," to, "the data suggests this will have the biggest impact." It's a total game changer.
Look, mastering a framework like RICE is a huge step toward making better, smarter decisions. But prioritization is just one piece of the puzzle, especially in the complex and exciting world of AI product management. So let's just zoom out for a second.
A prioritization framework is an awesome tool, but to really, truly excel, you need a full toolkit. RICE helps you decide what to build, but a great AI PM also has to master the how and the why.
A great AI PM needs to have a solid grasp of the entire product landscape, and that means understanding the tech fundamentals, sure, but also diving deep into advanced stuff like agentic AI and mastering the full product lifecycle, all the way from strategy and user research to launch and analyzing the metrics.
If you are looking to keep building that toolkit, the AI Product Management Playbook on LinkedIn offers deep dives on these exact topics. But no matter how you decide to continue your journey, mastering frameworks like RICE is an absolutely essential first step. Because at the end of the day, the real question isn't just what your team will build next, but what skills you will build next to lead them.